Move on to race number 2, the second on the programme at Sha Tin on Sunday. Another Class 4, but we halved the trip from 2,000 back to the 1,000-metre dash. My chance into Class 4 for the first time. Winner Supreme was a last start course and distance winner. Barrier 14 for him. Ariba makes his debut. Captain Fantastic on debut. King's Trooper officially on debut as well. Taking you further on debut too. Sunshine Universe, a last start course and distance winner. Victor Wong will take £7 off his back. Bullish Brother, third last time out behind Winner Supreme. And Levante down in trip. Course and distance for the first time for him from Barrier 7. Trust Me has been up at Chung Fa. He returned back on Valentine's Day, just on Thursday. Speed map, Brett, a few variables here, I'd imagine.
Correct, yeah, with these debutants and a lot of horses that have just had the 1 or 2 starts. Winner Supreme showed a lot of pace last start when winning. He's drawn the outside barrier, he's got more weight. Shining Ace with blinkers on, maybe a touch closer. Taking you further, shouldn't be too far away. His most recent trial was good. We've seen Captain Fantastic lead a trial on the dirt, so 1,000 metres, it'll be good, potentially a little bit quicker.
Here he is, he's keen when he's Supreme. He normally does this in the morning, he really wants to go on with it. He's under a decent hold as well, and he was really striding out nicely earlier in this piece of work, and they had to take a good hold of him. One of the first starters is Ariba. Derek Lung aboard for his piece of work, and just some even track work for him. He's had a few trials to get him ready for this, 5 in fact. King's Trooper, the last one we'll look at here, Neil Callan doing the work on him. He's taken no ill effects from his little mishap in the barriers when he was to debut. He's had 3 trials, 11.72 for him, so he looks good, nice horse.
He does, he looks a nice individual, King's Trooper. Let's start off with Winner Supreme, Bullish Brother. This is the race that King's Trooper would have been in. We'll come back to him in a second, but Winner Supreme did it nicely in the end. He
did. He put a nice trial on the board going into this, and I thought he battled on well. Meridian Genius got very close. There was a nice gap back to third. I know after the race, Andrew, you suggested King's Trooper would have trotted up. And I'm actually going to side with you this time, I think, because Winner Supreme has got a little bit more weight to carry, but he's going nicely. He was just starting to tire there, but I still think he'll improve. But I get the feeling King's Trooper might have improved too in the off time he's had.
Yeah, he's all about speed, wasn't he, in that race? And it's just, he'll be in front, I think, early. It's just whether he can hang on or not.
All right, Sunshine Universe, the next one we'll take a check on. Put it all together down the straight here. Ben So's winner back as well. Shining Ace finishing further back on debut.
Yeah, this is a weird race because it looked like the ones down the middle had it, and then just like that, it changed, and the rail horses came through, and all 3 of them were on that rail. So I'm a bit dubious about this race. I'm not going to put him in.
Well, I'll sneak him in, only because on the clock he ran quicker than what Winner Supreme did. But you make a good point.
Yeah.
That was C course. The false rail wasn't there. The false rail will be there with the A+3, so that generally can level up things a little bit with the rail as opposed to the middle part of the track. So we'll see, but it was a good performance.
Yeah, he did win
nevertheless.
Yeah, and Shining Ace was favourite for that as well. They put the blinkers on, so see if that brings about some improvement for him. Let's go back to King's Trooper, though, and jockey Neil Callan.
Neil, King's Trooper, what happened in the gates with him last time?
Yeah, look, it was an unfortunate event last time. He stood in the gate, no problem. Like, I mean, he got a little bit agitated at one point, but we calmed him down. And then a couple of stalls next to me, Eddie Lai, I think, got a bit excited with one of his horses. And, you know, he started yelling out quite loudly. And my horse just froze and got a bit of a fright, and he just lay down. Like, I mean, he didn't flip or do anything bad. He just froze and he just lay down. And it was one of those things. And unfortunately, well, for the safety of the horse, you know, and making sure he was okay, he had to be withdrawn. But, you know, he's been back to the trials. He's trialled very well. His track work's very good. And I was very surprised because normally in the morning in track work, he's quite quiet and he's very easy to deal with. So hopefully it was just a one-off, and everybody keeps calm in the gates this time, and hopefully he jumps clean and gives him a chance.
So you've been back in the gates with him in that trial since then? No mental scars, so to speak, with him from that experience?
No, in his trial he was absolutely A1. You know, he jumped clean, he travelled, and he won his trial with ease. So look, he's a nice young horse. He's still a little bit on the green side. He's still doing a couple of things a little bit wrong, but he's quite a well balanced, strong type. Got a bit of speed, and he's a young horse that I like. I think he's got a bit of ability.
He's a nice horse. And Neil successful on Friday night, the Longines show jumping as well.
Just for the record, Eddie will be 4 gates down too. Barrier 13.
Give him a cheerio. All right, so that's King's Trooper then. The debutantes. or some of them, more, is Captain Fantastic on the all-weather.
5 trials for him. He's been slow away in most of them, actually. He had to be sort of scrubbed up for this one. 1,072. Sylvester de Souza will take them out. Look, he won this trial, so he did everything right. I didn't get him in the numbers in the end, but he looks like a nice time.
He does. Yeah, I was worried too about the fact that this trial was on the dirt. I'm not sure what type of pace we're going to get from him on race day over the straight 1,000, but an interesting trial. I'll be watching the market closely. At the moment, he's 30s plus.
All right, he's a 3-year-old by Power. Taking You Further, a 4-year-old by Exceed and Excel for Jimmy Ting.
I've liked his trials, this horse. He's trialled really well in all of them. The tongue tie goes on debut. He's 1,096. I think he's really tuned up for this race. And from barrier 11, he should get a nice trail in behind. Jack Wong will take a little bit of weight off his back as well. So, look, he's come up a decent price. I'm going to take a chance with him.
That horse winning that trial was Thrilled.
Yeah.
And that was the Abraxas who ran second. And there was a long gap back to third, but I'm with Paul. I think that was quite a quality trial from Taking You Further. Interesting runner.
All right, but Sunshine Universe at this stage, Paul, favourite to go back-to-back?
Yeah, I'm going to leave him out. I'm going to go with the first starters, the 2 first starters. I think they're both really nice horses, Taking You Further and King's Trooper. I did stick with Taking You Further. He's paying a little bit more as well, but I expect a really good run from King's Trooper, and you got a really good push there from Neil Callum. Wonder Express comes back from 1,200 to 1,000. I think he'll be better suited there, so I'm going to give him another chance. He did go pretty short on debut, and Winner Supreme did nothing wrong when he led all the way last time. 7, 5, 9 and 2. Happy to take the 7 each way at that price.
As you said, Andrew, hats off to Neil for his efforts at the equestrian on Friday night, and I think he can kick home another winner here with King's Trooper. Quite an informative interview, that, just giving us the rundown on exactly what happened, because I was wondering whether or not the horse may be scarred a little bit too, but showed no signs of it in his most recent trial. In fact, it may be a little bit of a blessing, potentially. A bit more experience and time under the belt. Winner Supreme did nothing wrong in winning last start. Shining Ace with blinkers on. We were all suspecting or hoping that he'd run a good race on debut. The blinkers might sharpen him up. And Sunshine Universe, I'll throw him in. But I did put in Taking You Further, number 7, into that trio for the reasons that Paul's mentioned. So 5 on top in the end.
Yeah, I got the same cue, 5 and 2. It just all depends. He looks a nice horse. When Neil takes the handbrake off, what happens?
Yeah, well, his earlier trials were really good, but that most recent one after the barrier incident was sensational.
All right, there we go. That's race number 2. First of our Group 1 features is race number 6. Of course, it's Beauty Generation in the Queen's Silver Jubilee Cup. Back to the 1,400 metres. So we're back with race number 3. Class 4 again, 1,400 metres. That's next.